I am Melissa Pickett, a registered nurse of over 14 years with the Bedside.
Our topic today is finding alignment again and your journey into LNC. Can you give us a little rundown of your nursing experience, how long you were a nurse, your specialties, how were you feeling practicing?
So I was a second career nurse. I went to nursing school when my daughter, my youngest of three, went to kindergarten and was like, hey, why not? I started the journey with a lot on my plate. So I think it's just naturally evolved that I needed challenges and different changes. When I graduated, I started as a cardiac step down nurse. I had externed at this particular hospital in Michigan because that's where I'm initially from. And I worked there for at least 6 years on the unit. Like many of us who get in a position and you just start running into conflicts, right? Like things just seem a little bit more difficult. And I don't know if it's the patients or the doctors or if it's the job. So I went looking for something a little bit different to see if that would reset my compass at the time, which transitioned to a long-term acute care facility that I was a charge nurse coming brand new into, which was a tremendous experience and definitely gave me that kind of drive back to and the passion back into what I was doing because it was a little bit new and I had to build all these new relationships, but could really see where my experience and my skills excelled because I was in a new environment where I'm relying on different things and I didn't have that same comfort zone. After that, I stayed with the same company but took a different position at a different subset hospital, working in wound care and infection control. And then from there, aligned into an interventional radiology position, which I led during COVID. And basically, nursing was still pretty new to that particular department. So it was building that culture as well there and working with a lot of non-nursing people and in a really stressful environment a lot of times and high pressure, right? Because there's just a lot of cases that would come in emergently. And then from there, I moved on to oncology nurse navigation. So I think I really wanted to share all that with y'all because, yeah, my experience is important, but having to jump from different roles and doing different things along the way really is what triggered me leaving the bedside to do my LNC business. I just kept running into the same thing. I'm very accountable. I have high integrity. I expect a lot of the people that I work with because I'm giving a lot. And when you don't have that support from management and leadership, the overwhelm just sets in. It's just makes going to work very difficult sometimes because you want to do everything that's right. You want to maintain that balance, but you just feel like you're really pushing up against a big wall. And that's super important and passionate to me now that I've been working as an LNC for a bit because of many things. Really just getting to the wall again, going, what am I going to do? Am I going to keep doing what I've been doing or do I want something different? And now my kids are grown. My oldest just got engaged this weekend. So, life is changing again and it's super exciting. But I'm like, I don't want to be stuck working in a hospital. I want to be giving back and still being a nurse, but I want that freedom to be me and to live my life and not have to be stuck in an environment which I know is just going to be contentious again at some point. Many of us went into nursing for that's not there right now. And I think that's what connects with me the most on all of this right now. And I think the community that I'm in with the NLNCN and then with my mentorship program that I went through, it truly has given me so many just challenges, but the support and the courage, right?
Your experience is crazy. That's so interesting. So, when you said that bouncing around from different departments really is what made you want to step away, because it sounds like you found the same thing in every department of not having mutual alignment or respect from maybe coworkers, is what it's sounding. So, when and how did you start to depersonalize? Did you ever experience that feeling of not feeling fully there, but still doing your job as a nurse, and then disconnecting from what you were seeing?
So I lived most of my life in Michigan. I moved to Houston almost 3 years ago. So when I moved to Houston, I took on a new oncology nurse navigation role. And I loved the job. I really loved my team of doctors that I worked with, and I loved working with the patients. But it hit me one day really heavy that the things that were happening are nationwide problems. They're not just happening in the Midwest. It's not just Houston. These are things that are happening everywhere. And I just I knew I was going to have to change who I was as a person and who I wanted to be as a nurse to fit in that box. And I wasn't okay with it anymore. I could get the fulfillment from the work, but when going to work and I really didn't want to see certain people in leadership because they were going to want me to pretend that stuff was fine. The craziest thing is when I did walk away and I started sharing with them what I was doing, the support and the love and just, oh my God, this is perfect for where you're at. I feel like there's just going to be more and more people that recognize the gift that we truly give and giving them the support and the resource and having.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I want to go back to that time for just a second, and I have a couple questions for you. So, how did that make you feel about yourself? And how did that make you feel about who you were as a nurse when you were like in there, in the thick of it, in the trenches of seeing the corruption?
Yeah. So I actually told my leadership at a meeting one time, which was probably not a great choice, but again, they pinned me. They were asking me about a problem that we were working on and basically, how do you think we're doing as a whole? Because we were following up on stuff. And I was super quiet that day. I'll never forget the feeling that I was having because I was so frustrated. And I knew if I started to have a conversation, it was not going to go well. They were not going to be receptive of what I had to say, but I also couldn't agree to it anymore because it was just wrong. And I looked at them and I told them, I said, I'm really embarrassed to work for this organization right now. I'm super embarrassed to be here. And this is a reflection of who I am and what I'm doing and what this team is doing to support these patients. I would never send any of my family to this facility right now because of not the doctors and not because of the treatments that are here, but because they're not getting what they need in order to really be taken care of. And I think for me, that was my breaking moment, which again, I was very professional about the conversation. I was not disrespectful, but if you're going to flat out ask me, I was going to be honest. As hard as that time was, because it did, it really affected me personally. I left and personally was disassociating from other parts of my life because it just didn't feel right. And I wasn't doing the things to take care of myself that I needed to show up at work. And it was really a hard time. I'm thankful that I learned walking away from certain things are good because a lot of us don't because it's scary and we're comfortable. And I know the more I take care of myself, the better I am for my patients, the better I am for my family, the better I am for my friends. It's just that I was not a good fit for that environment. It's not that I wasn't great for the job because I was, and my patients loved me and my doctors loved what I was doing. I felt like I hit that wall and I was just done. This environment everywhere it reminds me back when my grandma was growing up. You just be happy that you've got a job. You just be happy that you're in this environment. And that's not what I ethically became a nurse to do. That's not why I chose this. I chose this career to help others and to support things when there's tough times. And if I'm in a situation where I need someone to stand up for me to support me so that I get to live, I don't want that passive nurse taking care of me, right? Like, I want that nurse that's going to be willing to have that hard conversation and to say,
Yeah.
stop, this is not how this goes. We have an issue and this is what we need to look at. And I really feel that now as an LNC, this is the only way that I can put pressure back on healthcare to make them start doing that again. Help to not just myself, but help all of y'all to understand the power that we can have as an LNC, right? And giving back to this really horrible healthcare system that we have right now. And I think it never ends when you're
Yeah.
taking care of patients or even after the bedside, right? Because I'm still having conversations that are very difficult. And sometimes life just happens and there's no way of stopping bad things from happening. Sometimes bad things happen because we make mistakes. and sometimes bad things happen because we don't have the right support on whatever level that is. I really thought I was more healed than I was, honestly. And I say that with laughter because we truly have to laugh at certain times of our lives, right? Because it is
Mhm.
so heavy. Over the last year, I've had a lot of conversations with them about different things that I've learned about myself. And if they complain or just venting about something, I have different tools to give them now because I've learned different things. And I'm so thankful that regardless of where I go from today moving forward, of that piece of this journey. If that's all I get from this, if that's it, I'm so okay with it because I am just in such a better place for myself, which again means I am just going to show up for everybody else so much better. And it doesn't mean that I'm perfect and my days are great. I'm okay with that now, where I wasn't 6 months ago at all. It was really stressful. I felt very overwhelmed. I felt very frustrated because this wasn't happening. Why am I not seeing these results? And now I can truly, when those feelings start to surface, go, this is one of those instances I'm planting seeds. The flowers haven't bloomed yet, right? Some flowers take longer than others. Some grow really fast and they're beautiful and they don't go away. Others, they take a while to actually come up and look like anything. I just know that I'm building that bigger vision, right? So that the nurses that are behind us can have the experience that I want them to have, like I had in the beginning of my career, and the support that I
Yeah.
got to see. 14 years is really not much when you really look at it in a huge timeline. I mean, to have that much of a shift in a field and that amount of time is really scary. You can't always save the patient, but you can definitely go in there and give it your best and do the right thing. And at least with this job, because I'm answering to me every day, I get to do the right thing. We just have to show up and do what's best for ourselves, what's best for our job or our business. And that's when all that comes. Honestly, for me, it's almost like I found the family that I've never really had. And I come from a decent family. It's just, I was always the black sheep. So now I feel like I'm truly aligning with the right people that get me, that support me, and that truly have the same types of values that I do.
Want full access to expert led trainings, networking opportunities, and resources you won't find anywhere else? The NLNCN is the only national network built for nurses by nurses. Join today and get up to 2 months free. Click the link below to start exploring.